There's a voice in your head. It speaks in your language. It knows your fears, your weaknesses, your secret doubts. It sounds like you, but it is not you. This voice is the silent enemy. It has been with you since before you could speak. It grew stronger as you grew older. It learned your triggers. It studied your vulnerabilities. It became the narrator of your inner world. And you have trusted it, believed it, obeyed it, your whole life. Pattern interrupt. The voice that says you cannot is not your friend. The voice that says you cannot is the enemy. And the enemy lives inside your own mind. Let me show you what this voice does. Every time you have an idea, the voice arrives. Not with evidence, with certainty. That will never work. You are not smart enough. You are not lucky enough. You tried before and failed. Remember what happened last time. The voice is fast. The voice is confident. The voice speaks before your conscious mind has a chance to respond. And by the time you realize what happened, the idea is dead. Killed by an assassin you did not see. You have been letting this assassin murder your dreams for years. Not because you are weak, because you never knew the voice was not you. The voice is not you. The voice is a program, installed before you could choose, by parents who were afraid, by teachers who were limited, by a culture that profits from your smallness. The voice is not trying to protect you. The voice is trying to keep you safe. And safety is not the same as freedom. Safety is the cage. The voice is the warden. And you have been paying rent to live in a prison you did not know existed. Pattern interrupt. Your self-doubt is not humility. Your self-doubt is obedience to a voice that is not yours. Here is the hidden truth about the silent enemy. The voice is not logical. The voice is not evidence-based. The voice does not care about facts. The voice cares about one thing, keeping you exactly where you are. The voice fears change, because change is unknown, and the unknown is terrifying to a voice that was designed to keep you safe in a world that no longer exists. The voice evolved in a different time, when a wrong decision could mean death, when staying in the cave was smarter than exploring the forest, when the familiar was safe and the novel was dangerous. That time is gone. The voice is not. You are running ancient software in a modern world, and the software is sabotaging every attempt to upgrade. You want to start a business. The voice shows you bankruptcy. You want to leave a relationship. The voice shows you loneliness. You want to move to a new city. The voice shows you failure. You want to write a book. The voice shows you rejection. The voice is not predicting the future. The voice is projecting your fears. And you have been treating these projections as prophecies. They're not prophecies. They're ghosts. And you have been running from ghosts your whole life. Napoleon Hill wrote about the importance of faith, not religious faith, but faith in yourself. Faith that you can overcome. Faith that you can figure it out. Faith that the voice is wrong. You do not have that faith. Not because you are incapable, because the voice has been shouting over your faith for so long that you forgot you ever had it. The faith is still there, buried, under years of a voice's propaganda, under the weight of its certainty, under the silence of your own doubt. The faith is waiting for you to stop listening to the enemy, for you to start listening to yourself. Pattern interrupt. The enemy is loud. You have mistaken loud for true. Loud is not true. Loud is just loud. Let me tell you about the tactics of the silent enemy. The first tactic is the highlight reel. The voice shows you the successes of others, their achievements, their happiness, their seeming effortlessness. And then it shows you your failures, your struggles, your doubts. The comparison is not fair. The voice knows this. The voice does not care about fair. The voice cares about keeping you small. And comparison is the most effective tool for smallness. You have been comparing your behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. And the voice has convinced you that the gap between them and you is evidence that you are not enough. The gap is not evidence of your inadequacy. The gap is evidence of the voice's manipulation. Stop comparing. Start creating. The second tactic is the crystal ball. The voice pretends to know the future. It shows you every possible failure, every potential embarrassment, every imaginable rejection. It makes the future seem certain, and the certainty is always negative. The voice does not know the future. No one does. The voice is guessing. And the voice is guessing the worst because the worst keeps you safe, keeps you still, keeps you small. You have been letting a guessing machine run your life. Stop. The future is not written. The future is created by action, by courage, by the willingness to fail. The voice does not want you to fail. The voice wants you to not try, because not trying is the only way to guarantee that you will never succeed. And the voice would rather you never succeed than risk failing. The third tactic is the amnesia. The voice forgets every time you proved it wrong, every challenge you overcame, every fear you faced, every time you did the thing the voice said you could not do. The voice has selective memory. It remembers your failures. It forgets your victories. And you have been listening to the amnesiac as if it were an archive of truth. You have evidence. Evidence that the voice is wrong. Evidence that you are capable. Evidence that you can. You have just been letting the voice hide the evidence. Find the evidence. Write it down. The times you succeeded when the voice said you would fail. The times you survived when the voice said you would not. The times you grew when the voice said you would stay stuck. The evidence is not an opinion. The evidence is fact. And the voice cannot argue with fact. The voice can only shout. And shouting is not truth. Pattern interrupt. Your history is not a story of failure. Your history is a story of survival. Against the voice. And you are still here. That is evidence. Here is what Napoleon Hill called the mastery of self. Not the absence of the voice. The ability to act despite the voice. To hear the voice, thank it for its input, and then do the opposite. The voice will not disappear. The voice is part of you. A part, not the whole. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears the voice. And the one who hears is free. The voice whispers, "You are not enough." You say, "I am enough." The voice shouts, "You will fail." You say, "I might fail. I will try anyway." The voice screams, "Stay where you are. It is safe." You say, "Safe is not why I am here." You are not here to be safe. You are here to become, to grow, to expand, to risk, to fail, to learn, to try again, to become who you were meant to be before the voice convinced you to stay small. The voice is the silent enemy. But the enemy is not invincible. The enemy is a habit, and habits can be broken, not by fighting, by noticing, not by silencing, by acting despite. Every time you act despite the voice, you weaken it. Every time you do the thing it said you could not do, you shrink it. Every time you prove it wrong, you take back a piece of your mind that the voice has been occupying rent-free. The voice has been living in your head for years, eating your potential, convincing you that you cannot, charging you nothing for the service of keeping you small. Evict it, not by arguing. You cannot win an argument with the voice. The voice has been practicing for longer than you have been alive. You win by acting, by proving, by becoming. The voice is the silent enemy. But you are not silent. You are here, reading, searching, hoping that there is another way. There is. The way is not through fighting the voice. The way is through ignoring it. Not ignoring its existence. Ignoring its commands. Hearing the voice. Acknowledging the voice. And then choosing differently. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. The voice convinced you otherwise. The voice is a liar. Stop listening. Start choosing. Not because the voice will stop. Because you have finally realized that you do not have to obey. The silent enemy is loud. But you are louder. Not in volume. In action. In courage. In the willingness to try despite the voice. The voice will speak. It will always speak. But you do not have to listen. And you do not have to obey. The silent enemy is not the problem. The problem is your obedience. Stop obeying. Start living. Not the life the voice built. The life you choose. The voice is not you. You are the one who chooses. Choose now. Not despite the voice. Because the voice is irrelevant. The voice is noise. You are signal. The silent enemy has been running your life. Not because it is powerful. Because you have been listening. Stop listening. Start living. The voice is not you. You are you. And you are ready to become. Become. Not despite the voice. Because the voice does not matter. Only you matter. Only your choice matters. Only your action matters. Choose. Act. Become. Not tomorrow. Now. The silent enemy is waiting. But you are not waiting. You are moving. And moving is the only thing the enemy cannot stop. Move. Not because the voice is silent. Because you have finally decided to be louder. Not with words. With action. With courage. With a life that is yours. The life is waiting. The voice is talking. You are choosing. Choose the life. Not the voice. The silent enemy is not the end. The silent enemy is the beginning of the war you win by acting. Start acting now. The enemy is loud. You are louder. Not a noise. In life. Live. Not despite the voice. Because the voice does not get to decide. You do. Decide now. Act now. Become now. The silent enemy is not your master. You are. Remember. And act. The voice is not you. You are you. And you are free. Act like it.